Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist. It is, the Daily Atheist morning show. It is Thursday, January 30th, 2020, and I have a special guest this morning. His name is Peter from the GonnaGoForIt Channel. Good morning, Peter. How you doing?
Good morning, Chris. Doing fine. Doing fine.
Yeah, I know. See, they're already giving me grief. Good morning, Dave. Good morning. Hey, there's Atheist Pastor Math Pig. Good morning, everybody. You know, normally I'm watching that little ticker go down, but this morning I was kissing the wife goodbye to work, and I got a second or three behind, but nothing compared to Math Pig's numbers. So that makes it okay. Blame Math Pig. There we go.
Yeah, for everything.
I know. Yeah. Well, it just kind of makes it easy. Works for us. Good morning, One Ring. How you doing today, buddy? One Ring's going to be on the show Saturday. He's going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking sci-fi Saturday. That's going to be fun. It's going to be him and Dallas Wade. They're going to be joining us. And then today you might notice Atheist Pastor is not here with me on the screen this morning. He is chilling and illin. He's still sick. Apparently, our thoughts and prayers have not worked. So we need to pray harder. We may consider sacrificing a goat. If anybody has a goat we could sacrifice, just mention it down in the comments. Good morning, I am Raven. How are you doing? Hey, hi, Raven. How's Jay? Jay doing okay? I saw his Symbols show, and I really, really loved it. I don't know if you heard me or he heard me or somebody heard me. I said that to somebody the other day, and it wasn't you. So that was fun. Yes, we need to pray harder for Atheist Pastor to get healed. Maybe we need to get in a circle and hold hands. That might focus the power. I don't know. Peter, I just met Peter. I've seen a little bit of his stuff on the YouTubes. I really don't know anything about his beliefs. So I don't know. Are you a Christian? Are you an atheist? Where are you rolling in?
I'm an atheist.
I suspected because of the channel.
Yeah, I grew up atheist and never had any good reason to change that in any way, shape, or form.
Right. Yeah, they never provided anything worthy. Jay is apparently not feeling well either. Okay, so Atheist Pastor has got the cooties. Not the coronavirus cooties, I don't think. He's just got some kind of cooties up there. He probably got it from his girlfriend or wife, lady, Lisa. Lisa, did I say her name? Is that her name? I say her name right? Oh, I'm just going to shut up now. I done screwed up. Anyway, but I think what happened was he got to talking to Jay over the internet too much and got Jay sick. And now Jay's sick too. My wife says it doesn't work that way, but all right.
There are things like computer viruses, so
see?
Who knows? I mean, we don't know.
That's true. Sammy Jenkins is here this morning. Nerdy Rodent is here. Good morning. It's Lissy. I knew. See? Thank you. It's Lissy. I knew that. I was testing you. You passed. That would have been most unfortunate had you not passed. So maybe a sacrifice. Wait. The male goat for sin offering and the calf and the lamb, both 1 year old without defect. And for a burnt, it's got to be a burnt offering. I wonder, the question I need to ask here, with a burnt offering, is the creature alive or dead? Do we burn it alive as a burnt offering, or we kill it and then burn it? Anybody know? Anybody in the chat? And go. Math Pig only sacrifices.
I had my burnt offering last night, which wasn't good. So no, my favorite restaurant burned down. It's owned by friends of mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
it burned down.
Yeah, it was it's a Western steakhouse, and they had the best food for the lowest prices, and so yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that. Hope everybody was okay.
Yeah, it happened in the middle of the night, so I don't think anyone was there. But it's a real shame. It's not only one of the best restaurants. I did an awful lot in the Dutch country and Western scene, so it's also set up as a redneck restaurant, real country and Western inside. So
yeah, I'm from Texas, so it'd just be home to me. I'd probably, this is in the Netherlands, right? So I'd probably be kind of laughing at how close they are to being like Western. It's like in you go up to north and you eat their hot sauce, and it's just like ketchup with a little spice in it. It's not.
No. These people take it seriously. They
Okay,
go to all kinds of places in the U.S. to get their recipes and to get
Interesting.
and they have terrific food, really terrific food.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It sounds like so. Well, unfortunately, they burned down. So
Yeah. Well,
they'll build. They'll rebuild.
They'll rebuild. It'll take a while, but
Gotcha. I just want to say hi to Doorknob Head and to everybody else that's showing up in the chat. And my buddy Mike has shown up. He points out that he believes the sacrifices were killed first. So that's probably right. Now I do remember. Here's something critical. Dave is pointing out.
Dave.
What's important is that God likes the smell of burning flesh. He doesn't say burning flesh, but I know that's what he's talking about. Now, I know that because there's actually a scripture in there where God says that he enjoys the smell of burning flesh. And I can't wait to get to that chapter in my Evil God Monster of Abraham series. That's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I think I might be able to pull that up. Let me see.
Oh, yeah, that'd probably be an easy one to find. Math Pig is here.
I think it's
I'm just saying hi to people in the chat.
Yeah, I think it's Revelation 14:11.
Okay.
No, 14:10. They will be tormented in the presence of the holy angels and of the Lamb. So, Jesus likes some burning atheists.
Oh well, actually, there's a different one. Let me find you another one. Likes the smell of burning flesh, because there is an actual scripture in there where God tells you to offer up I think it's of an animal. I thought he says it says God likes the smell of burning flesh. Here we go. Let's see where it is. I'm sure that somebody in the chat will find it for us. Let's see if I can find it here. Pleasing aroma. It's Exodus 29 verse 18. Then burn the entire ram on the altar. It is a burnt offering to the Lord, a pleasing aroma, an offering that's not even the one. That's not the right one either. There's another scripture in there where it actually says God likes. I put it in my book back in 2013.
Yeah, so there's also Jephthah's daughter, who.
Oh yeah, she was offered up as burnt sacrifice.
Yeah, burned at the stake, burned alive at the stake. So
merciful is the Lord.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ezekiel 23:20. That's less about a barbecue as it is about a porn show. That's like Pornhub. Ezekiel 23:20, where God is all mad. He's speaking through Ezekiel, and he's all mad at Israel. So he's talking about how Israel lusted after Babylon like whores lust after the emissions of donkeys and the members of horse. Wrong. Yeah. I appreciate that one. That's all manner of fun. That's always a go-to for me. I don't know about you guys.
There are two more in Songs of Solomon. So there's a blowjob in there. There's cunnilingus in there. All kinds of fun stuff.
Really? Okay. Well, if I ever need some stroking material, I know where to go. I got him to laugh, folks. I got him to laugh. All right. So yeah, somewhere in there though, it does say animals. Mike, animals killed first, people burned alive. That makes sense.
That is pretty accurate.
Excuse me. Yeah. Mike Englehart, Michael Englehart, in case you don't know, Peter, is my best friend. Me and him have gone way back, like 25 years or something. We go way back. I was a Christian. We switched. He's responsible for the reason. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here. He went all far right, well, not far right, far Christian, and my response was to go far.
And that's where you have the better angle, because I'm here because of Ken Hovind.
Okay, yeah, I don't know a lot about Ken Hovind, to be honest. I mean, I've seen glimpses.
You're lucky. Yeah.
You're lucky. Well, he's him and Ken Ham. I know of them, but I don't. One of my deals is I'm on my own path. And like I could debate politics, but in order to debate politics, I really got to go watch that politician and know what he thinks and understand him. I don't want to waste my time doing that. I don't care about that enough to go do that. Same thing with Ken Hovind. If I wanted to know about them, I'd have to go watch their stuff and sit through their lectures and blah blah blah.
Yeah,
And I just
my problem was stumbling on a video, 100 reasons why evolution is stupid, and I thought this has to be some kind of joke. So I started watching that, and then it turned out that the guy's serious.
Oh, yeah. Well, I thought the whole Banana Man thing was a joke at first. I thought, I heard they were teasing Ray Comfort about his joke.
No.
I thought that was a joke.
He's spinning it now that it was a joke.
Right.
He's been doing this for decades. I've got video of him when he was still back in New Zealand, telling people in churches, dead serious, that was his thing. And now he's saying, yeah, I thought that up as a joke to attract atheists. Well, if you thought it up as a joke for atheists, then why are you telling this story in churches for at least 2 decades before addressing a single atheist?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So,
well, in his case, I mean, it wasn't making a joke; it was making him a joke. He became the joke. So for him to claim he was making himself a joke to atheists, that's just another lie. But wait, they don't lie. Christians don't lie. What's wrong? Evangelicals especially, they don't lie. What's wrong with us? We need to repent for our sins.
It's not a lie as long as you say that you believe it.
That is true. And that's kind of part of the deal. How many of them actually believe what their message, and how many of them are just shysters and don't believe it, and they're just in it for the money? Atheist pastor, he's really into politics. That's his thing. So, but he says he's right because he's right. I think he means because he's right because he's right. But that's not really the same kind of right that we have here. That's more like a wrong than a right. We're to the right and to the left.
Well, so I differ. My opinion differs from Arn Ra. Arn Ra thinks that Ken Hovind knows that he's lying. I think he has convinced himself to the point where he can't go back.
Gotcha.
His son Eric, I'm convinced that he knows better, and he's just lying because there's money in it.
I see. Right is right.
Kent, I don't know. I still think. So I talked to him off as well offline as online.
Mm-hmm. Do you?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
And I think he's convinced.
He's
someone else who I think is dishonest is Seitzen Bruggenkate, who I also talked to in both Dutch and English, because Sai is Dutch, of Dutch heritage, but he can speak Dutch. And he won't come back on our channel anymore.
No?
No. So I can be a little bit snarky. And if people are trying to corner me and it isn't working, and are deflecting from my questions, I get a little annoyed and I get a little specific, and that happened with Sai.
I see.
And I was really hoping that he would come back, because so it probably didn't help that I started off the show with a video that he posted on his website but had deleted, in which he basically says I went to presuppositionalism because I was bad at apologetics. I got beaten in every single one debate that I did.
Okay.
So then I went on Google and I found presuppositional apologetics, and I tried that instead. Now he's telling people that he had a revelation from God. He didn't have a revelation from God. He had a revelation from Google, which was basically one of the first things that I said when I talked to him.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't get this from God. You got it from Google. You Googled, and there was this guy who figured, well, I'm bad at apologetics too, so I found something different. I'm going to presuppose God exists and that everyone knows God exists, and then I'm done. Well, that's not how this works.
Let's just make it easy. It's
Yeah.
easy. Okay, I could do that. I could do that. Why? I should have got into religion. I'm in the wrong business.
All you need
Because
to
people
do.
will believe him. His followers will believe him.
Oh, I saw Doorknob's had question. Doorknob had, there's nothing I get. I'm just bumbling around like anyone else.
Yeah, you got to watch Doorknob Head. He's kind of him and Math Pig. He was causing trouble yesterday. I don't know. There's some kind of history there I'm stepping into between Math Pig and Doorknob Head and Richard Madsen. I don't know what I'm talking about. I better shut up.
Doorknob Head is one of my favorite people. We go back a while. He's been in several of the videos, the shows that I've been on, and he always has good comments in the side chat. So he's absolutely one of my favorite people.
Yeah, he's always been a hoot. And then of course, I'm glad for everybody who's here this morning. Of course, Doorknob Head, atheist pastor. He's not with us physically, but he's with us in spirit. So if you look over in the chat, you might see atheist pastor over there ticking away. Occasionally, I think he's in observer mode right now. He may be meditating. I don't know, Hare Krishna. But so he's not with us, but he's in spirit. So if you say hi to atheist pastor, he's over in the chat. Fake Christian channel. There that's not a bad idea. Watch the money roll in. There. Comment.
I did have an idea a while back, and that never got to fruition. But we wanted to create a creationist wiki with the most ridiculous positions we could think of, and then see if there would be any creationists out there who would adopt those positions. Just make up stupid shit and put it out there as an explanation for how things got here.
Right.
And yeah.
That's they would probably fall for it. There's quite a few of them would. I mean, there's no different than somebody else. I mean, the only difference between you and somebody who's doing that as an actual mission is that it's not real. They don't believe, or they don't know it's not real, but they do it anyway in the belief that it's real. And then we have this thing and it spreads. People fall for it all the time. I don't see why they wouldn't go for it. Yeah. Wile E. Coyote, actually. That's pretty smart. Oh, Mouse Forever. Good morning, Mouse. I don't remember seeing you before. Hello and welcome. Got a lot of people in the chat this morning. Hello, everybody. We're having a pretty good show. For you, those of you who don't know, Peter is from the GonnaGoForIt Channel, YouTube channel. They do a lot of interviews and stuff. Peter, go ahead and tell everybody what you do for those people who don't know. Fill us in on your channel.
Yeah. So, as I said, when I bumped into Hovind, I thought, well, if there are people out there that actually believe this, then I need to do something. I need to at least try and find a few people and convince them that whatever they believe is incorrect. So that's when I went on Twitter, and then I discovered the Atheist Experience and was really jealous because I wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I started my channel. And I've been having fun doing it, talking to theists, and I think if you compare us to the Atheist Experience, there's one big difference. We only have one guest per show, instead of a lot of people calling in, and we do offer. So when people come in. We grill them over their position. What we do then is offer them a second show where we reverse the tables, and that's where they can come in and decide on the topic. They don't tell us up front.
Oh, really?
So we can't prepare. So I think that's making things equal. I mean, they can't prepare for what they're getting themselves into if they come on the channel.
Right.
They can go watch, but it pretty much depends on which of the hosts is there. I've got three terrific co-hosts: Lilith Liberated, Robert
seen
Reed,
her.
and Artemis Brain Sample.
Okay. I've met Artemis once. I've seen Lilith once.
Lilith is our walking Bible. She has a lot of the Bible memorized. So if I got a real Bible basher, I will ask Lilith to help. Robert, I named Robert the atheist Neil deGrasse Tyson because he's big, strong, and he doesn't take any prisoners. He as he says himself, he doesn't take shit, and he's really respectful, but don't make him mad, because then you got a whole different personality. And I really love Robert.
Okay, warning noted. I noted that. Okay.
Yeah, so I really love Robert. I met Robert on a Christian channel, where both of us were interviewed or interviewing the Christians. And I really liked his style. So when we got off, I immediately messaged him on Twitter and I said, "Hey, do you wanna join me on my tiny channel?" So, and he accepted right away, and
really,
we've had a lot of fun doing shows. So and Artie is a person all by himself. Artie is fun, has real way with words, but is fairly intelligent as well. So so depending on what guest we have on, I might ask a specific host or just throw in the guest and tell the others, well, you figure it out who's going to host. But yeah, it's at times it's a pity that you can't have all the hosts on at the same time. It would be ganging up on a Christian, so it wouldn't be fair. But to me, that would be the most fun. And but yeah, we have a lot of fun talking to theists. We've had some really strange people on there. People who said that they were convinced that Jesus rose from the dead because that was reincarnation and that was mentioned in Hinduism. Something I never heard. We've had last week we had Jesus himself on. If all goes well on Saturday, we're going to have God's wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who's a 59-year-old guy.
Okay. Yeah, I get it. That's cool. You know, the things we learn, the people we meet in this business.
So people have been asking me, where do you find these people? I don't know. So I'm on Twitter and I ask every single one, do you want to come on? And usually it's respectful. So we've had guests on. I've made friends with a flat earther.
Okay.
So
how did that work out?
It can happen.
It can happen.
Well, I met him in a fight on Twitter, and it went really, really bad. I'm good with Photoshop. At some point, I posted a picture of his mother topless. It got that bad.
You don't come off as that kind of guy.
No. And in the middle of so I have mellowed, because that was a couple of years ago. I wouldn't do that now. But so in the middle of the fight, my mother passed away.
Oh.
He had been making comments about her.
I understand.
And I'm also on Skype, and he didn't know, but he found me on Skype and started messaging me on Skype because I had blocked him on Twitter. So he started messaging me on Skype, we're in a fight. Can we please bury the hatchet, because I heard what happened, and I'm really sorry, and my condolences. And so that's what pretty much broke the ice. And then I messaged him and said, well, let's have an offline conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, things were completely different. And so he's a hardcore Christian,
Okay.
who thinks that the Bible says the earth is flat, and therefore the earth is flat. He lost pretty much his entire family and all of his friends because of his position.
Okay. I understand that.
Yeah, and so he has no one left at this point.
Really.
I've asked him several times. He has no friends, no family. He's all alone.
Well, then his sacrifice will be rewarded. Is that not correct? I mean,
Yeah,
by their belief.
by his belief, yes.
Yeah.
But I
Good
also
for him. Is that what we say? Good.
I feel a little bit sorry for him,
Of
because
course.
he's basically he turned out, after we fought, he turned out to be a good guy and turned out to be really respectful. He doesn't want me to follow him on Twitter, so every single time I follow him, he soft blocks me, so I'm gone again. But once or twice a year, he'll send me a DM asking, "Hey, how are you? How are things going?" So we have a brief conversation in DM on Twitter,
Yeah.
and then I get soft blocked again, and he's gone. But
Gotcha.
yeah, things like that can happen. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
in real life, my best friend is a Christian.
in real life, my best friend is a Christian. I don't know if Mike is still here, if he's busy, if he had to go do his thing or not. But he's a Christian. He's been a Christian all his life, you know. We've had the debates. We used to have a debate night. He'd come over to my house and we'd have pizza and pot and debate all night long. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good.
We would have Christians over to debate. I would have atheists over, and we he'd bring a Christian friend, and we'd debate, and it was fun. Yeah, we just kind of got to where we'd done it all. You know, between me and him, we've had all the arguments. Me and him, we've been there, done that. So, but what does that say about me as an atheist? What do you want to say, convincer? If I can't even convince my best friend of the reality,
I'm pretty much the same, and I'm even
Yeah.
worse, because so he is an artist. He's a sculptor and a painter, and together we design churches.
Oh, really?
Have designed churches. We haven't done one lately, but yeah, there are churches in Europe that have my artwork on the walls.
Really? Yeah, they probably don't advertise that.
See?
But
Well,
you've got
there's
some,
money.
you know,
There's
go
good
ahead.
money in it.
I'm sure. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, well, yeah. So while we're on the subject, let's go ahead and talk about your art. You do art stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were actually mentioning it. MathPig mentioned it. Several people have mentioned your art skills in the chat. So if you want to go ahead and throw us down with some history about you and art, what got you into it? How long you been doing it? What's your secret?
I started, I think, in the late 90s with some software from Microsoft. I thought, Picture It. And I've been using that for a very long time. I think it was in 2014 or 15, I switched to Photoshop.
Okay.
I was still working with software from 2000.
Really?
And then discovered Photoshop can do a lot more. So I taught myself how to use Photoshop. And I was doing artwork already for company. I made websites back in the day when we still had HTML.
I remember. I know HTML.
And I liked the really graphic websites. So the ones that I made have already been replaced, most of them. I have made one that was for a guy who did who sold all kind of retro stuff. I made him a website inside a jukebox, an old Wurlitzer.
Really?
The Wurlitzer, what was it? 1045, I think. I don't know, the one with the bowl.
Lights.
Yeah, and the bubbles and all the colors.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
So you could go and push on the buttons and then go to different sections in the websites. And meanwhile, in the screen, a record was constantly playing. Stuff that and those were gifts that I made literally frame by frame.
Really? Yeah, that's a lot of work.
So yeah, I made a website for someone who played the bagpipes and had a flamethrower on it, and I made a website for him with real fire, which I also made frame by frame.
Really? That must have been impressive to see. I'd like to, man, because your artwork that I've seen now is just wonderful.
Now it's a lot easier. You got a lot of tools. I mean, if you get After Effects, which I'm using, and you can get an awful lot of plugins. You can have different tools. What I did when I was still working, if I had a client and I had to make artwork, instead of buying specific stuff for my client, I bought a bundle that included the stuff that I needed.
Ah, I see.
So with every single client, I got a new bundle. And that now leaves me with a lot of stuff that I can just pull up and give away for free.
Yeah.
Including I have an awful lot of music, royalty-free music.
Right. That's something I need for my stuff too, is music. I have no music in any of my stuff except for my intros and outros. I bought a program called Videos. It's like a web-based thing. And that's where I go to make my little crappy, forgive me, intros. And then they come with music. Other than that, I have no music.
There are a couple of YouTube channels that are created just for that, where you can download royalty-free music, and they will have, I think, once or twice a week, they will put out new stuff.
Oh, I need to check into more of those. I've checked into, like, YouTube has the YouTube library where you can go in there and it's free. So I really need to do that. I've just been so busy doing all this other stuff associated with the show. And I have my nephew, Donnie, who may or may not be listening. I don't know. He sometimes does. He's been working on my podcast and stuff like that. And he's an audiophile. He's really into music and stuff. And I kind of tasked him. I'm like, hey, go find me some music for my intro for my YouTube show and for my general thing. And you know how it is when you ask things of family. It was like days ago, and so yeah, I'll do it myself. No offense, but I'll do it myself.
Yeah, as I said, there are a couple of channels, and if you subscribe to the channels, you'll get a notification every single time some new music comes out. And if it's something that you like, you can just download it and use it. It's all free.
And one of the things about OBS and StreamYard, or OBS or Streamlabs, is that, you could run that. It's different than this program here. I can't really run a music file in the background of this. I'd have to run it separate and do things, but OBS could help. That you could actually run the music file as part of OBS. Yeah. That's interesting. On this, I guess I could just run a song in the background. I think I could be wrong, but I think every time I get notification, does everybody hear it? Does it go ding? Have you been hearing it?
No.
Okay. I've been hearing it through my headset. I didn't know I'll get a friend request that'll go boo-doo-doo through my thing, and I'll see a little notification. I'm like, man, I hope all those people ain't hearing it.
No. As long as you got earphones in, you'll be fine.
Well, with this program here, though, you can, like if I share my screen and I add this other one, you click that share audio, then it'll play your system audio. but I'm still new to the program, so it's been pretty good. We're talking about keeping it and just carrying on because it's so easy to use. But like you were saying with OBS, I could create an image, this background image. I could go in there and lay some art around there, so whenever we're in two people mode, there would be, but then with this program, you can't really switch. If you pop out of the channel, then I'm going to be sitting there and I'd be in the center and there'd be two people channel stuff sitting around and I'd have to run over to this thing here.
That's
it's not like OBS.
Yeah. And that's why I'm still, I'm old fashioned. I'm still using Google Hangouts, and
oh, really?
it has a problem because it will limit you to having 3 people on screen.
Mm.
What I do is I pull up Hangouts in Chrome, and I pull up Hangouts in Firefox, and I'll pin down the guest in Firefox, and I'll pin down the co-host in Chrome.
Okay.
And then I'll have my normal setup. I only have to set up OBS once, and can use it every single time I run a show, and there's no preparation whatsoever.
Gotcha. How many? Let me ask you about your show. How long have you been doing the show itself now, proper?
Okay, I started, I think, in 2016, and back then what I did is record a show. I would have a conversation on Skype, no video whatsoever. So I just had a still picture. And yeah, I really wanted to do a little bit more, but because of the work that I had with my friend designing churches, I couldn't show my face. I couldn't show my real name because it might hurt his business, because I'm basically helping him with the design. So he comes to me with a picture of the inside of a church, and I need to put that in Photoshop and paint the walls and put the artwork on there and put whatever sculptures he makes, put those in there, and then he can take that picture to the client and say, this is what it's going to look like.
Gotcha.
And at some point he said, well, if people do not want to give me any work because of what you do on YouTube, then they don't deserve my work.
Right.
So at that point, I was free to use my real name, to show my face.
It hasn't caused him any problems, has it?
No.
Good. Yeah, that's good.
He's had some work since, so and we haven't had any problems so far. But that's where we started doing sometimes video, sometimes not. And I think it was this year where I decided that we're no longer going to do audio only. We'll have video on every single show that we do.
Yeah. Well, with my show, I have guest hosts who come in for a week at a time. And then I also have special guests who come in every day. And I really prefer if they can do a picture. I understand some people aren't picture ready and they're not geared up for that. But especially if they want to come host the hosting part is usually for content creators, other atheist content creators. If you're an atheist content creator and you want to guest host on the show, come on, we'll let you guest host for a week, But with hell, I forgot my point. Anyway, we have
being on video. Video.
That was the deal. Well, I'd really prefer they be on video if they're going to be here that long. A one-off guest, it would be nice, if they would. I like to ask them to show their video because it's more entertaining, I believe, than watching just a little icon flash when they speak.
So it's also different because most of our shows are shows with theists.
Okay.
And what I really like, if I ask a question and you can then switch over to the guest and see their facial expression, and that tells me a lot about their position. So I can then adapt my way of questioning, maybe. So that's also a reason why I really like it if even the guests are on video as well. That it's not mandatory. if a guest wants to come on and says, well, I do not want to be on video, well, it's fine, because I care a lot more about the conversation than I do about having someone on video or not. And we'll still have the host and the co-host. We'll switch to a still picture when the guest is talking, because it also helps if you can switch cameras. The guest at least knows now it's my turn to talk, because I'm on screen.
All right. And, you know, that's one of the things I like about this program is I can kind of do that with you. I can pop you up here like this. But what I can't do, I want to go here, exit solo layout. What I can't do is, if you're going to be speaking that I know of, I'm going to pull up the thing where I'm going to share my screen over here, and I can't get it to where you solo share the screen. It has to be me. Or, you know, just there's things that are limiting in this that I think if I had OBS, matter of fact, with OBS, it's even got an app where I can sit here on my tablet and I can tap different screen layouts and it'll just automatically pop up. There are some benefits to OBS, but, you know, like being able to pop people in, just snap them in, that doesn't work as well as it does with StreamYard. Hey, there's Randy. Sorry, I you got me excited. I had to say that about the thing. Carry on with what you were saying. I know I distracted you. Let me get Randy here. How many get? No, wait. Before I go for who's your next guest, and what's their deal? Do you have that?
My next guest is a 59-year-old guy who claims to be the wife of God.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes.
And so everyone he talks to is automatically adopted and is now Jesus.
They are Jesus, or he is Jesus? Oh, I see. They are Jesus.
The people he talks to become Jesus.
Jesus. Okay.
So I personally think he's a con man.
Okay.
He seems to be proud of the fact that he's got 1,500 court cases against him.
Yeah.
And because I didn't believe him, he sent me a couple of them, and I've checked up on him, which I usually don't do that, but for this particular one, because I think he's a predator, I did make a couple of calls to South Africa and did some digging around, and from what I've learned, he's not a nice person. He's not a good person.
So you're going to call him out on all this on your show? Is that kind of how?
That's probably what's going to happen. Yeah,
I want to be there for that. I'd like to watch that. We're going to have to put links. You have me interested, because that sounds like some. We have Woo fighters, you know.
I need to go and check, because time zones at times kill me. So it's going to be on Saturday.
Is it already in your channel? I can pop it up here and put it.
No. I haven't set it up yet, because I've only today told him that he can be on.
Okay.
It's let me see. It's at noon Central.
Noon Central. Which day you said?
Saturday.
This Saturday, noon Central. So 11 a.m. my time. Perfect. All right. So that should be interesting.
Well, that should be interesting. As I said, I've made a couple of calls to verify who he is. So some of the court cases against him are his wife and his children, who have a restraining order against him.
It kind of sounds like he's a real piece of work. You know, without knowing him, I almost said something uglier, but I don't know nothing about nobody, so I shouldn't say.
What I would equate him with is someone like Jim Jones, or the guy from Waco.
Yeah, one of those.
That's the feeling I get.
David Koresh was his name.
David Koresh.
You know, in my book, back in 2013 that I mentioned earlier. It's called The Atheist, and in it I talked about David Koresh and how in 1,000 years we'll probably have Koreshians, and they'll believe he had risen. Somebody now in our time will scribble down in some book that he rose from the dead, and they'll believe it 1,000. I mean, that's a great example of the Christ analogy.
So, and I don't know if you're aware, but that one of the survivors of Waco has moved to Britain, and he is still convinced that David Koresh was Jesus, was the Messiah. Right.
I've seen some interviews with some of the people who followed it. Now, Doorknob Head was asking, who is it you're talking about? What's the guy's name who's going to be on your show Saturday?
His name is Johann Abrahams.
Johann Abraham. And he believes, now the question has also been asked, which God does he believes he's God's wife.
He is the wife of the Christian God.
Okay, so, and then he adopts you and you become Christ. That's kind of the shtick. Good morning, Donnie. We were talking bad about you earlier. Well, it wasn't too bad. It was kind of bad. It's family bad. There's my nephew, Donnie.
Okay.
The son of my brother. They are really into music. My brother and this guy, music is their bag. It truly is. I don't get it, but it works for them. Let me get this up here.
I've been active in the music scene for more than a decade.
Do you play?
Couple of decades. No. I wanted to learn to play the guitar, but I lost feeling in my fingertips.
Oh, really?
So, yes. It was my fingers were burnt when I was 22, 23.
Oh, I've heard
and I've never regained. It's like wearing surgical gloves all the time. That's how it feels.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
So I can't get a feeling to play the guitar. I got a couple of guitars and tried. I even had lessons from one of the best guitar players that we have here in Holland. And at some point he sat me down and he said, "Peter, this is not going to work."
Oh, really? You had one of those conversations, huh?
Give it up.
I'm self-taught in the piano and cello. I don't play either one of them very well, though. I can play them, I'm just not well.
I have played the piano, organ, and accordion, but that was a long time ago. So I'd need to have lessons again. Most of that is gone.
Right. Yeah, well, it's one of those things you got to keep up with. I used to play at least an hour every day on the cello. And, now I've quit. I've decided right now, in particular, because of the way job, work, channel growing is going, I've really decided to set that aside and not do that. I have no time for that. I need to do it every day. So once I get kind of things back on their feet, I'm going to an hour a day every day for my cello, an hour every day for my Spanish.
There's only 24 hours in a day. So, and that's my problem most of the time as well.
Right. Yeah. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I'm not going to sing, Sammy Jenkins. It's not going to happen. You don't want that to happen. It would be bad for everybody involved. I would cry later. Peter would probably cry now.
So I have a duet on my channel, a duet with me, Scientist Mel, and what's his name? The French last name. He was an atheist. Now he's more like a white supremacist.
Oh, really? How does that happen? How did that even? Well, I guess just
Stefan Molyneux.
Okay, Mjolnir, huh?
Molyneux, or whatever his name is. So he got into a fight with Scientist Mel, and I decided to because he looks like Max Headroom, the character.
Oh, does he? Thank you, Mike. Thank you for the shout out. Sorry.
And so I decided that there's a song where Max Headroom was featured, and I did a spoof version. He's Max Headroom. Scientist Mel is the female voice in the song.
Okay.
And you can't hear me much, but I had to jump in for the original soundtrack to change a word in there. So the song is called Paranoia,
Okay.
and we turned it into Para Meow Meow because that was how Scientist Mel referred to him as Meow Meow because his name was too difficult to pronounce.
Well, I just want to point out that it's really in the movie Thor, his hammer's named Mjolnir, which is the same as your guy's last name, apparently. And one of the characters in the first movie of Thor, played by Kat Dennings, a woman, couldn't say Mjolnir, so she called it Mjolnir. Just want you to know that.
See?
So there's coincidence, maybe. Don't know, but it works.
Yeah. So there is a kind of duet that I did
with her. I wonder if that's
yes.
why they're telling me to sing all of a sudden. We're not singing. I don't think we're singing. Do you know Les Miserables?
Yeah, it's not really my thing.
Well, my favorite song to sing is "The Castle on the Cloud" because what little girl doesn't want a castle on a cloud? Sorry, I kind of went there. If you don't know what we're talking about, never mind. It's culture.
I was more active in the country music scene, but privately, I like the old rock bands. My personal favorite is AC/DC, and I got to meet Angus Young.
Really?
In his house, in his kitchen. He made me coffee, which is probably, when it comes to music, my best experience. Just having coffee in Angus Young's kitchen.
Gotcha. So. Hug time, ring. One ring gets a hug. He knows Les Miserables music. So that's all in the finish. Mike, they've got something going on in the chat about which organ they like to play with. I'm just going to leave it there. So that's what that's about. Yeah. So
things like that happen in our side chat as well. I don't know why. Really.
Well, you're talking about country music. I used to love Garth Brooks. Love me some Garth Brooks. I walk around the house. One of the songs I sing around the house is of course, it's not old country, but is that "Mama Was a Looker"? You know what I mean? With the dad who got mad because Mama was cheating and he killed her by running over her. That's romance right there, baby.
My favorite country artist would be Dwight Yoakam.
Really? All right. I like you. You're cool. Like me, I'm cool. I don't like Dwight Yoakam. I like some of his songs back in the day, but I watched him one time. It wasn't even in concert. It was just a video of him in concert. He was a music video, but it was him in concert. And all he does is he stands there and he does this with his leg. Just leg. Yeah. He plays, and that's all he does. And then he'll switch to the other leg, and that's literally all the guy does for his whole show. So I was less than impressed with Dwight.
Actually, that's not correct.
After you see Garth Brooks hanging from a rope, swinging around the edge of the Dwight Yoakam is.
I see Dwight perform live here in Holland, and I've met him because the guy who's presenting that particular thing was a friend of mine. And he helped me backstage, which so I met a guy outside who had a stand, and he wanted to raise money for a children's cancer hospital. So he had a pair of chaps, but he couldn't get in. And he said, "I want to have autographs of all the artists that are playing." And Asleep at the Wheel performed Heather Miles. And a couple of other great names, BR 541 or 541.
Yeah.
So I said, well, the guy who's presenting this is a friend of mine, so give me the chaps, and I'll make sure that you get your autographs. And so we got the autographs. The chaps were auctioned off on eBay. And got a pretty sum for the children's hospital. So that's how I got to meet Dwight Yoakam. But he does have moves that will pretty much
I should put
draw
more
every
research.
single woman in the audience towards the stage.
Okay.
He can do that.
I'm an open-minded individual, and I'm all about changing my mind when proven incorrect. I would be willing to go watch a Dwight Yoakam. There's bound to be on there. Because I was raised country.
Watch the video "Fast as You." That pretty much sums up.
Okay, I'll do that. Fast as You. I'll write that down. My big deal, especially as a kid, teen years, was Sawyer Brown. I watched Sawyer Brown win the not America's Got Talent, but that's what it was for back in the day. Was it Ed McMahon? Star Search. They won Star Search as the band, some kind of deal. I watched them do that. And then whenever they came out with their records, I followed them. I was all in my teen years. I still now I either listen to Les Miserables on my phone whenever I'm like doing dishes or something, or I listen to Sawyer Brown. Usually those are the ones that I bounce. Occasionally I'm not that bad to where that's all I listen to, but they're big up there. Sawyer Brown. Still got the country in me. You just can't get it out of me. And then, I don't know if you know this about Sawyer Brown, that they're kind of like a semi-Christian band, or they may even have gone a full Christian band. They've got like 20 albums out. They were now listening back to some of their songs as I sing along to some of the songs. I'm like, oh, this is a religious song. This is, it never snapped. Maybe it just didn't dawn on me back in the day, but yeah, they went all the way over there. I know, right? But that man could dance. I don't know if you know this. Do you even know what I'm talking about? Are you familiar with Sawyer Brown? Anybody out there familiar with Sawyer Brown?
No.
6 days on the road and I'm gonna make it home. I said I wouldn't sing.
Yeah, of course.
He actually he did Pinocchio. He played Pinocchio at Disneyland and danced in the Disneyland production at Disney World or Disney whatever. And that's where he got his dancing skills, which he took on the stage.
I can ruin my good name on this show. I've been a line dance instructor for over a decade, and so the restaurant that I told you earlier about that burned down, I'm the official dance instructor there.
Really?
So everyone who works there, cooks, the people who serve, everyone learns how to dance, and then they've got these little shows in between things where some of the people who work there go on stage and perform a little dance, and the guy who's responsible for that would be me.
It sounds like fun. Sounds like a hoot. I often find it very interesting.
The fun part. I get to eat for free every single time I go there. I don't have to pay.
Batting you up, huh?
And everyone comes over and see if I enjoy my meal. And so it's kind of weird because I usually then go in style. So I'll be in a complete Western outfit.
Really?
And then people will just look. There's this guy coming in.
Yeah.
He has two blondes with him. And every single person who works here comes over to the table and says hi. So he must be famous. It's kind of cool.
I think it's. I don't want to say funny, but it is funny. I think. It's funny. It's interesting. The culture. Whenever I see somebody from Europe who has co-opted our culture from over here, the biker gang culture or the cowboy culture, any of those things. Now, they have cowboy culture all over the world. They're different cowboys, but we're talking specifically Texas, cowboyish, West Texas, 1800s. That's where everybody goes. And I think it's really interesting to see people in the Netherlands dressing up like bikers or cowboys or Western. It's sort of like seeing, I don't want to be disrespectful because I don't know how you guys think about lederhosen, but it's kind of like seeing somebody over here. Like if I was to walk around dressed up in lederhosen with the things, and doing the thing, how would that strike you?
I've done that, but that was when
you're from Holland. You're supposed to do that.
No, we don't have lederhosen in Holland.
No,
we've got wooden shoes and
wooden shoes,
trousers.
Oh, that's right. Huh?
That's what we have, and a lot of windmill cancer.
A lot of windmills, right? Yes,
windmill cancer.
That's where all the cancer comes from. That seems
to be a thing. I don't know. We haven't heard of it, but according to Trump, yeah.
I've never heard that before. That was a new one on me whenever he came out with that. So I'm gonna do the thing real quick. If you don't know, this is Peter from the Gonna Go For It channel. There's his links are down in the description. Go subscribe to him. Don't forget to subscribe to me if you're not subscribed to me. And an atheist pastor, he's down today. I don't know if he'll be back tomorrow. Now, Saturday we're gonna have the Sci-Fi Saturday. We're gonna have Dallas Wade, and we're gonna have the One Ring here. They're gonna be with us, and we're gonna talk about sci-fi stuff because that's what we do. It's just gonna be fun sci-fi stuff. Will Chris the atheist pastor be there? I don't know. Depends on how hard you pray, people. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen. Monday, we're going to have Justin Scott from American Atheist. He's going to be back because he's into the atheist vote, getting out the atheist vote, and they're having their first vote in Iowa Monday. So he wants to be on the show Monday morning to help get other atheist people out there and voting. He does know that they're not all on the left. I pointed that out. Not all atheists are on the left. He knows that, but he's going to do that. Tuesday, we're going to have Devin Graham. She's from American Atheist in Florida. Down in Florida, the state is trying to enforce a 2-minute moment of silence on all the students. Now, they're actually defending and saying it's not about religion and a moment of prayer, but that's really where it's leading. The people who are spearheading this bill, trying to get it pushed through or whatever. Pardon me, I'm not into the law stuff. Whoever's doing that, you can go check out their website. They're far right Christian crazy nutbag thing, and they're just trying to really. It's a move to try to get prayer forced into school. We start with the moment of silence, and that's what. So she's going to be on, and that's what she's fighting against. She's trying to stop that. She's going to be a lot of fun. Next Wednesday, we're going to have the liberal atheist comic Carl Merritt. He's going to be on the show, so it's going to be fun. Now tomorrow. Atheist pastor still has the cooties so far. He may not be here tomorrow. I have no guest for tomorrow. So if one of you guys, if Jay wants to come back on, I love having Jay. Jay's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun. Somebody wants to be a co-host with me tomorrow. Atheist pastor may show up. I don't have a guest or a co-host for tomorrow, so it's just going to be me. Dance, monkey, dance. All by myself alone and scared. So, if you guys out there know, especially a content creator who has if you want to come back, anybody want to come back, let me know. We'll get somebody on the show. It's going to be fun. Otherwise, you guys just stuck with me. But I'm going to wrap it up now. Thank you, Peter, for joining. You got anybody you want to tell them where to go to find your stuff?
Well, on YouTube, youtube.com/GonnaGoForIt. On Twitter, I'm on Twitter, YTGGFI, or YouTube Gonna Go For It.
Okay.
That's where people can find. We have a Facebook page, which is pretty much dead. We have a Discord server that's also dead, because I don't have time. It's a one-man show, and
I understand.
I still have an awful lot of fun creating stuff for other channels as well. One of my favorite, and I really want to do a shout out, is Scientist Mel. If you haven't watched Scientist Mel, go check her out. She does an awful lot of work, puts an awful lot of work into her shows.
Okay, well, we'll give a shout out to her. Matter of fact, I'll try to, let me write her down, and I'll obviously invite her to the show. But for those who are interested, I will go ahead and put a link in the description below so you can go find Scientist Mel's channel. Does that work?
That would be great. That would be great.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so Lilith also has her own channel. My co-host Lilith, she actually has two. She does Veritas Voices with Renevelation, a guy from Germany who's also a friend, and she has her own channel, Lilith Liberated, on YouTube.
Okay.
Which has some really cool videos about her deconversion and her looking back on her fundamentalist Christian upbringing. I think there's one or two that will make you choke up a little bit.
On her stories?
That was the comment of Dornot that I want to respond to.
Okay. Go ahead.
He said, if you don't know Peter, you don't know Dick. Shouldn't that be the Dick Dornot had? I mean...
Linguistics. It's a linguistic thing.
But,
I hate to do it, but
Lilith did a few really good videos on that, really respectful, because her parents are still fundamentalist Christian,
Okay.
and so yeah, I really like it if people would check her out.
Okay. Yeah, I'll put both of their Lilith and Mel. I'll put both the links down the show. I will approach them if you think that's all right. If you don't mind, I'll approach them both.
I'm going to get beaten. Artemis Brain Sample has a channel as well.
Oh yes, Artemis.
If you like the comedy style a little bit more, then Artemis is your man. He's we need people to go after him and tell him to make more videos. He's done a few. The title of his video is "How to Keep a Moron in Suspense." What people do not know is that we are the morons that are being kept in suspense as to when a new video will come out.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense.
He did a few on Mike Helmick, a flat earther.
Okay.
Daphne Rimmel, who is also a flat earther and an ex-vegan.
Okay.
An
ex-vegan.
Yeah,
but he's okay now, right?
Yeah, and he had redneck tree girl or redneck tree woman. I forgot whatever her real name was. Who was ranting on that people should grow their own food. You need to check out Artie's channel on YouTube.
Okay. I will. And with Lilith, Scientist Mel, I'll put links to all their stuff down there. And I will try to get in touch with them and see if they want to be on the show. Obviously, I'd like to do a tiny little bit of research about people before. And that's only, I like to not know a lot. That way, whenever I get you on the show, I can ask questions and be genuinely interested in what you're talking about. Some people do a lot of research before. I don't. Obviously, I'm not very good at the interview part. But I want to see about getting them on, but I want to check them out a little bit. There's some people out there, this is not radio, so a little cussing is bad, but some people out there act like teenagers whose dad just left the room and every other word out of their mouth is a cuss word. I don't want those people on my show. So I do a little bit of research before, and that's
as for my co-host and Mel, I can vouch. So Artie might need a heads up.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole deal. I can ask. I can be like, a little word every now and then. We cuss. We're all grown-ups. I get it. It's not, like I said, it's not radio, but we're kind of trying to be like a radio show, and we want to be as friendly as we can. And of course, I don't mind to slip every now and then. But some people, I'm not going to mention a name, but some people, there was a lady going through the community, and she's on several channels, and I've watched her stuff in various different formats. And literally, it's like she's 40 going on 13, and her dad just left the room, and she learned some new cuss words. And every word that comes out of her mouth is a cuss. I don't want that on my show. I just don't.
So I don't think it adds anything.
But when you cuss, people go, "Oh, hey, he just said a word. It's important. It has weight." But if you cuss all the time, it has nothing. It means nothing. Yeah.
So I try to avoid it on our channel as well. Sometimes we do have a guest on who can drive me to the point where I do need.
Yeah, where you snap.
But yeah, I don't think it adds to the conversation. If you want to have a decent conversation, you can do without.
Right. I agree. And especially in a situation like this, we're here. Usually most of the people come on because they have a cause they're trying to push. A lot of them are American atheists, and they represent American atheists. And it's just, I just don't want that that's not what we're here for. We're not, there's channels out there where you can go do that all the time. Matter of fact, now that we mention that, Critical Cripple made a suggestion about a Freaky Friday panel. Dave, if you're still there, those are almost the exact same words my wife used. She said, just do a panel and let everybody come in or whatever, let whomever come in. And we may do that, rather than just cutting it short or me just sitting here dancing like a monkey the whole time. So we may let some people in. I've seen where other channels go whenever they just let anybody in. They drop a link in the thing, and then you got drunk people in there just laughing and giggling and saying stupid things when we're trying to have an actual conversation. I just don't want that.
Yeah.
So if we can get a few people on and have a fun Freaky Friday panel, that'd be great. Maybe we'll do that every week. I just don't. I want it to be controlled. I want some control.
Yeah, and don't have too many people in the room at the same time, because then you're going to pretty much everything.
Yeah, maybe limit to 2 or 3 tops. Yeah, because we could do 6.
I'd say 4, maybe 5 if you know the people. But yeah, usually 4 would be the maximum if you really want to have, because if people start talking over each other, you've got nothing left.
All right. Well, I think if I was to pull people and build a panel out of the people who watch this show, for the most part, they know what's going on. They know what we're about. Critical Cripple, he'd probably pop in. Some of these other folks, I'm sure. If it's just random people, then we get what we get. But I think most of my peeps here are pretty cool. I don't think we'd have a lot of those problems. And especially most people are respectful. If you just ask them, hey man, I don't mind a little cussing every now and then, but don't be immature about it. I think almost anybody would, even that person that I didn't name her name, would probably go okay and be respectful, I would guess. Then again, some people are just like, screw you, and they're off, and I'm going to go over here and cuss.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
There's Kristen. She's saying, see, she's here. I knew she'd be here. Good morning, Kristen. We were going to end the show without saying hi to Kristen. I can't believe we almost did that. Sorry. Okay, everybody, thank you for coming and watching the show. Thank you, Peter, for joining me. We'll have you again. I would love to come on your show and do atheist stuff if you guys atheists. There's asking atheists.
As I said, we have herding cats, and it's really not my favorite thing to talk to atheists, because I think it's kind of an echo chamber. But every once in a while, you do come across people you really want to talk to. Yeah. So we've had PZ Meyers, we've had Arn Ra. So, but there are some people who are the smaller content creators who are also interesting people. So we'll set it up, and
one of these days, if you get time, if you're woefully in need of a somebody to be on your show, I'd like to do it. That's about what I'm doing. I'm trying to build a channel here, so spread me around. I'll spread my nutbaggery.
Yeah, I'll keep it in mind, and I think as we talked before, maybe I can help you out with a couple of things. So that'd be cool too.
We'd appreciate it. Doorknob head. It was hurting, not hurting.
Hurting. Doorknob head. I'm Dutch. Come on.
You gotta watch him.
You know I can't talk English. I can. I'm really good in Dutch. Pretty good in German. English is my 3rd language. Give me a break.
Well, I really ought to get nerdy on the show, I got lots of friends. Tomorrow, somebody be on the show. One of you guys send me a message. We'll get somebody on the show. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. Thank you again, Peter.
Someone needs to get Doorknob Hat on the show. I want to see that.
See, I wouldn't be against that. Well, of course, we may do a Freaky Friday panel. So let me do some pondering upon it. We'll see. All right, guys, I really got to run. Thank you all for showing up. Thank you again, Peter. Thank you in the chat, everybody. We are off to save the world. You have a wonderful day.
Okay. Bye.